Hey everybody, hey, it's it's the man, it's the guy, it's the Mr. Incognito superhero. I'm your host, Miles with the Smiles, and welcome to Sounds Like Steven. Let's go ahead and get seated. Let's go ahead and get into it. And it is such a pleasure to kind of give you a little bit, a little bit of me. Okay, let me chill out. Today is Email Monday, and this one isn't cute. This one is not cute. It's raw. It's unfiltered. This email came from my best friend, and it most definitely had weight to it, and it had me kind of like, okay, let me go ahead and hop and drop something new. Okay. So, my best friend emailed me and asked, what is real and raw truth? And how can you tell the difference between fabricated truth and blunt, honest truth? You guys know that the biggest elephant in the room really comes from truth. And it conjured me up. It was just like, I'm like, okay, come on, Steven. Like, you need to post something, you need to do something. And then boom, I get this email, and it just pushes me to a whole nother level. And researching and just really understanding the depth of that question really showed me something different. Because everybody loves to yell my truth, but not everybody is telling the truth. And sometimes it's just the feelings. You can't, it's like the feelings are just blatantly there, and you can't cute outfit that. You can't do that. You can't dress it up. You can't doll it up. That's not possible. I mean, that's just not it. So I have a rule, and with these kind of type of questions, it makes you be like, okay, but what happened exactly? But that's not the truth. So being blunt and just being yourself is just, it's so much depth with that. And let's just separate these three things that people confuse. The real truth. So you have facts. I feel like facts have an active play with it, and it is just, you just have to have that factuality and context. So a lot of the context can sometimes defer better judgment, and just the accountability that that person is willing to take. You can say what happened, and here's my part, and it's just the real truth. But then when you think about the second thing, you think about blunt honesty. And with blunt honesty, some people try to dress that up, and they're trying to dress it up as like, oh, I'm keeping it real. Sometimes, it's real. And then sometimes it's just confidence posed with a nasty attitude. And then you have the third one, the fabricated truth. So that's the third one. With the fabricated truth is like it's kind of like a sneaky one, because it's technically not a full lie. It's just selective amnesia who you want to project that truth with. And it's just the real pieces get together, and then it just arranges itself in a reaction that feels suitable. And then again, these are just like the true survival questions that I usually normally ask, and to see what bar is going to be raised with that. And I don't like, I'm not really the best test taker, but you can be whatever you perceive yourself to be within that vision, and that can be your truth, which is respected. But at a time, you can definitely tell the difference. And with that difference, it just comes with tests. The truth will have so many details that fabrication can't even vibe with. And so I could be telling myself something like, okay, all right, Steven, you're going to just post 10 episodes in 5 minutes. And I can tell myself that to the blue in the back of my head, like, that's what the truth is. That's what's my truth. But then the fabricated sounds like, okay, when I post all these videos, I have to get a minimum of 5K views. Okay, so we know what the truth is. The truth is, I am capable of most definitely uploading, and you want to do more, and I want to do more. So I'm really good with posting videos like that. But a fabricated truth, like, come on, 5K on every video, that's just a little bit. It's a little bit kind of little. That's kind of a little bit inconsistent with, because that's not truth. That's not going to be that's not the truth right now. I don't know how I'll be able to get to 5K. But one thing I did know on when I, try to, understanding the truth test, and like understanding what people are really being genuine with me, the truth stays the same. The fabrication, I was just watching Baddies USA, the newest episode, and Janelle from BGC 11 and the All Star Battle, and from any Baddies ATL. I'm not a crazy fan of her, but I think she's a beautiful woman, and I think she's very talented, and I think she's really awesome. But as watching the episode, I could tell Janelle was kind of getting a little fabricated. But hey, I'm only seeing what's edited on the screen, not from my own vision. So like, not from like my own like physical vision, like if I were there, which I'm not. But I noticed if the story changes every time it's getting retold, the truth ain't there. The truth is not there, and it's not there, and it's not. And then, like, another check also on it is accountability. So everybody can sell accountability, talk about ability, but it's going to be your responsibility for accountability. What's the most craziest thing is, fabrication, comes off as, I did nothing, I'm perfect, that's crazy, oh no, living in the kind of like rose-colored glasses, as my best friend would say. And then you're coming around and you're not taking full accountability of your action. And so you're telling so many different stories, and you don't want to be known for that. It's so much truth when it can come to anything. And I think that is such a beautiful aspect of it, because it makes you, like, with fabricated lies, it just makes you sit there and think, like, is this really it? Like, is this really what's going on? And it just makes you think. And then, you gotta check for. You have like pretty much the outcome. The truth, boom, it's gonna lead into clarity, and it's gonna repair itself, and it's gonna show itself ideally. And then with all this fabrication, it's gonna make you like really very, very, very confused. And then you're just gonna play the blame game. Like my girl Jessie Ware said, y'all playing the blame game. And then you're going to want to make sure that narrative is controlled. If you feel like your truth, it just has like a win point, then give or take, it's up to you and how you feel about it. But my truth, I don't use as a weapon. It's just who I am in my authentic self. So when it comes to blunt honesty, I feel like it's only hurtful when you want to victimize yourself in that situation. And it's going to heal you if you just take a breath and you just calm down. And it's just so much that goes on, and it's annoying, and it just makes you just question who says what, he say, she say, me say. But the truth, I've noticed with the truth, it's going to sound very convincing, and I know with a lie, it's going to sound under convincing. And someone can just be like, okay, hey, I'm just being honest, I don't like that email that you're sending, you're annoying. And I don't know, like, that it gives a take depending on your situation. Whatever is your truth, you're going to express it, and it's going to make you feel something going forward. But you don't want to have that everybody agrees with me mindset. You just kind of, you want to be even-handed, but you also don't want to lie to yourself. And the hardest truth is to tell yourself. And honestly, the most fabricated truth that one you can tell yourself is, I'm fine, I'm tired, I don't care. But at the end of the day, it's you. You matter. You matter so much. And so that's the truth. And it's so much raw and sheer honesty that it just makes you can tell it on yourself, and you can just express, and you remove those fabricated thoughts, and you just be more open and honest, and just loving it, you just it and sometimes the real truth is you avoid hard conversations and call it peace. You don't want to go back and forth. You say, hey, peace of mind, peace of seal, peace of still. I don't want to do nothing that's going to kill this mood, okay? And then you want to do okay, I'm distancing myself to feel better. I'm only talking to myself because I'm being really blunt honest with myself, too. And then I come back, and then I'd be surprised when, when things get weird. And so when my best friend emailed me this, it wasn't just a deep question. It was like it put me in check and it put me in line, and it just made me just be myself. And that's the beauty of being around honest people who are honest with themselves, because you wouldn't have no room or no thought to lie because they accept you for who you are. And that matters. And that matters. Truth isn't loud. It has a strong stability. And with truth, details can just flow so effortlessly. Like it just can flow so lovely. And then, with truth, you can handle questions, any questions that come at you, and it can be whatever. And you being truthful, you got this. And the biggest one that I'm noticing is truth can handle accountability. And and with that being said, those are my two survival questions and my checklist, and what all goes into how I feel. And if the Pacifics clash, then that's not the truth. That's not it. That's not. But whew, man, I had to get a lot off my chest, man. That email sparked me up, and like always, I'm gonna keep it. I'm gonna be raw and my real self, my authentic self. So this is the final closing. Okay, so reply email Monday with the truth and tell me what's a truth you had to accept recently and what did it change. Next episode, whew, I can't wait to tell y'all, but next episode we're going to talk about keeping it real and being reckless, because y'all know those two things are not the same. Keeping it real and being reckless are two different things. But you know what? You know what? I This really felt good just doing the episode. Just all I feel like this episode is 100% all over the place, but it's me. I'm Miles with the Smiles. I'm your host, and this is Sounds Like Steven. And guys and girls and all over, class is dismissed. And be honest with yourself and love yourself. All right, all right, all right. Love y'all.